Good evening, my name is Mironova Alina and I would like to tell you about the basics of military investigations in the USA.
In introduction, I'll mention 5 main investigative services in the USA. After that, you will hear the information about types of military investigations in the USA. And the last point of my presentation is information about what you have to do if you're the subject of a military investigation. Now, let's start.
Anyone who served in the military knows that even with the best plans and training, things can end up going sideways. That's where military investigations come into play. There are also various investigating entities within the military depending on the incident and type of investigation. For example,
Criminal Investigation Command, Criminal Investigation Division, Office of Special Investigations, Naval Criminal Investigative Services, or Coast Guard Investigative Services.
Let's talk about the main types of criminal investigations in the USA.
The first type of military investigations in the USA is criminal investigations. When a commander learns that a subordinate is accused or suspected of committing a criminal offense, that commander is required to initiate a preliminary inquiry under Rule of Courts Martial 303. The inquiry is usually informal, but can involve an extensive investigation depending on the allegations. These investigations look for evidence of guilt or innocence, aggravation, extenuation, and mitigation.
The second type of military investigations is property loss and damage investigations. Investigations of property loss and damage, referred to as financial liability investigations of property loss in the Army, are used to document circumstances surrounding the loss, damage, or destruction of governmental property, adjust property records, assess liability, or provide relief from liability.
These investigations are used for property accountability purposes and are not intended for adverse actions. Also, these investigations seek evidence based on the following elements, for example, responsibility, loss, culpability, or proximate causation. The third type of military investigations in the USA is injury, illness, and death investigations. Service members suffering injury, illness, or death as a result of their service can expect a line-of-duty investigation. This investigation will determine whether an injury was sustained in the line of duty, thus opening up an eligibility for disability or other compensation from the Veterans Administration. This investigation involves a two-step analysis. Was the service member's misconduct the proximate cause of injury, illness, or death? What was the service member's status? If the injury, illness, or death resulted from misconduct, then it wouldn't be considered in the line of duty. However, if no misconduct was involved, then in the line of duty would apply as long as the service member was in an authorized duty status. This investigation can result in one of the following determinations. The first one is in line of duty, the second one non in line of duty, non due to own misconduct, and the last one is non in line of duty due to own misconduct. And the last one type of military investigations in the USA, it is commander-directed investigations.
Investigations are initiated by a commander and are governed by Army regulation. So the eyes can be formal and informal, and they are initiated when a commander appoints an investigating officer who is required to ascertain facts relating to an incident.
Investigating officer has a duty to impartially consider all evidence but is not bound by the military rules of evidence and must weigh all evidence under the preponderance of the evidence standard. The investigation officer then issues a report of investigation containing findings and recommendations, after which the commander can approve, disapprove, return for additional investigation, and appoint a new investigation officer if needed, or substitute the findings and recommendation.
And now I would like to tell you about what you have to do if you are a subject of military investigation.
Well, I'd like to say that if you're the subject of military investigation, it's important to know all of your rights, particularly those protecting against self-incrimination. Also, if you're subject to a military investigation, you must be advised of your rights under Article 31 of the USMJ. In addition, you may have a right to challenge any findings.
In any event, you should speak with the military defense attorney to further advise you of your rights during the process. You should also consider speaking with a civilian attorney specializing in military law. The end of my presentation. And to conclude, I'd like to tell that the military has developed a variety of investigations and methods for discovering facts and proposing recommendations covering matters such as injuries and deaths, property loss and destructions, criminal activity or safety violations and concerns.
Thank you for your attention. On the next slide, you can see my reference list.